Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday meeting of the BOCC. We can start if you want to join me with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I will ask Commissioner Mortensen for a review of the minutes.
I did review the minutes and I move to approve those minutes.
We have a motion to approve the minutes. Any questions, corrections? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Also vote aye. Thank you. We'll run through the consent agenda. One change to the consent agenda. The very first item, the call for hearings, has been tabled. We will not be having a call for hearings on that boundary line adjustment. We have three call for bids. These are all have to do with public works, surface materials, and a call for bid on the Slide Creek Road realignment project. Agreements, contracts, and awards. The first three, 5, 6, and 7. These are contracts we've approved. One with Emergency Support Shelter, one with Callis Family Health, and one with Community House on their coordinated entry. The state has added some things to their contract. From my understanding, we're bringing our contract into compliance with what the state has put in there. So that's the amendments to those three. Number 8 is also with Public Works. It's a personal service agreement with Terracon Consultants for material testing services. They may take samples of cement or whatever it is, and this company does tests for them. It's a contract that renews every 3 years. It's a contract that's not to exceed 100,000 over the last 3 years. The number I'm showing here is we spent 67,000. So this is just a renewal of a existing contract. And then through the auditor's office, we signed a letter of insurance for continued operations of Accessible Communities Advisory Committee. This committee has been in place since 2017, and it's just the state likes a letter from us every so often that we will continue it. Resolutions, call for bids for Hazeldale Road Slide Project to stabilize the roadway by installing a retaining wall that is 90 feet long. Call for bids is scheduled for May 1st, 2024. We received a letter from Federal Energy Regulatory Commission regarding Yale Saddle Dam seismic performance evaluations that have been completed up there. Looks like we have vouchers in the amount of $6,181,074.80. Any questions on the consent agenda?
On item 8, is that 100,000 per year?
Listening to her yesterday, that was my understanding, that was the contract period, which was a 3-year. Is she on? Maybe that's but I don't know that for sure, Arn.
Yeah, I should know, but I don't either. That's why I'm asking.
Susan is on. Maybe I can ask her to chime in on that.
Yes, of course, commissioners. Good morning, Susan Eugenius, County Engineer. The 100,000 is the total contract amount, not a yearly.
So it's for the 3-year period.
Yes,
Perfect. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the consent agenda items as presented by staff.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda items. Just another reminder, item number 1 is removed. That's been tabled. There will be no hearing.
So, Mr. Chairman, I did also want to make a comment. The contracts for coordinated entry did have a changed wording that would allow us to apply for the state to pay for that. They currently come out of document recording fees, which we prefer to use for affordable housing projects. So that was one of the changes that will allow us a little more flexibility with using the document recording fees.
Any other?
Just an overall comment, as I look at the attendance, we have about 18 people plus our audience. This vacation or something?
Well,
Spring fever?
Okay.
if you notice, I think you and I both park over there. You can get almost any space you want.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Not seeing any other questions. Call for the vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
I
I also vote aye. Thank you. Motion items, Health and Human Services.
Good morning, Gina James, Health and Human Services. It is spring break this week. Maybe folks are enjoying spring break, time off with their kids.
Kind of wondering what you're doing here.
I never take spring break off. My kids are free ranging this week is what I say. They're
Free range kids?
they're free ranging, yep. I don't know what I'm gonna come home to. We just have one item on the motion agenda today. This is a contract with Emergency Support Shelter that supports their basic shelter operations. The Emergency Support Shelter serves women and children who are fleeing violent situations in their homes. They last year served 165 people. That was about 78 women and 87 children in their shelter. And they have an average length of stay of about 53 days in shelter for their program. This contract is $100,000 supports the shelter operations costs. We also have $50,000 as a match component. So there's a dollar for dollar match that the county is willing to provide based on private donations that come to Emergency Support Shelter. So that's included in there as well.
The source of these funds?
The source of these funds historically have been document recording fees, and the match piece will have to stay document recording fees. But we did also include some of that same language about referencing the state contract if we wanted to look at using some of the state contract for this one as well.
I'm curious, this match concept, is it used in the same context that we have here in other things you've seen across the state in other counties?
I'm not aware of other counties doing this same type of match, but I don't know details of other counties' contracts either, so it could be out there somewhere. That's what you're asking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The reason I bring it up is I rather think it's a good thing to do overall because if you don't look at the cost of things, there are thousands of ideas that are good, but how do we choose which one to do? Well, when the public puts their own dollars out there, they answer us. And so I think that's a pretty good thing.
I was
that-
actually,
Yeah,
I was actually gonna shoot kudos your way, because if I remember right, I think that was your suggestion.
I don't
I-
recall.
I'm pretty sure it was
It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
last year, and it was probably the first time we've tried it, but yeah, I agree.
Well, the emergency support shelter does have an ongoing contribution plan. And our offering a match gives them one more carrot to offer their regular donors that they can multiply the dollars available. So it is, it is a useful tool.
And from a practical standpoint, there are, folks have heard me rail about things that are predictable. But domestic violence situations, you just have to accept the fact they occur, they're ugly, and people endure them under very nasty circumstances, and sometimes really bad things happen. And so I find of all the things we do, this is I don't have any trouble at all making the motion at the right time.
Hey. Any questions on this program?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve contract number 24-010 with Emergency Support Shelter as has been presented by staff.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve contract 24-010. Any comments, questions? I'm not seeing any, so we'll call for a vote. Those in favor
Aye.
Aye.
also vote aye. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Gina. Now you can go round up your free range children.
You know,
Before we
it-
get into public comment, I will point out tomorrow at 2:30, we will have rural public facilities presentations coming in. I made a pitch for it at Woodland last night, so I'll make a pitch for it here. We have, these are funds that, it's a rebate of our tax dollars. It's not a new tax. We get a rebate of tax dollars from the state for rural development funds. They're looking for funds that, I think what they prefer is building infrastructure type things. We sent the call for projects out. We have 5 coming back, one from Castle Rock, one City of Kalama, Port of Kalama, Port of Woodland, and then the PDA over at the Expo. So there'll be 5 projects tomorrow at 2:30 that we'll be looking at, and you're welcome to sit in and look those over.
In fact, at that time, we're very likely to approve.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
So that'll
yeah.
be a decision-making time.
We actually, last Wednesday, we kind of reviewed the projects with our finance, head of finance, and this Wednesday, the entities will be in and we'll go over them, and then it'll be very likely we'll do an approval or we'll make a decision on it tomorrow. Okay, with that, we will open up to public comment if there is any. Okay. I'm gonna have to let Paul at Castle Rock know that 22 minutes, he's gonna be tough to beat that. Okay, seeing none, we will adjourn. Thank you.